Those special situations where you need to be modifying the CMS. Here are some things to keep in mind as you work with that particular platform. When you're in Thrillshare, you need to go to the actual CMS and you need to right click on that and open it in a new tab. This allows you to back and forth to Thrillshare to make updates over here and to see how some of this stuff affects the actual live web page. You'll notice one big little difference over here when you're in editing mode capability on the CMS side. You'll see a little arrow down to the right with a black triangle right here. This allows you to know that you could be editing pages. You know that you can touch and accidentally move and modify all CMS pages. This is why very few people have access to this particular feature of Thrillshare. The best practice to do when you are modifying an existing page is to go in there to the actual page itself and begin modifying that way by navigating. You could, however, navigate down this direction, but it is strongly recommended and advised to use the forward navigation over here before you use this. This can easily be moved and accidentally deleted, and has happened, so it is best practice not to use that. So if we press this button here, we can go to menu, for example, and we'll look at the guidance page. School counselor, and we'll go counseling staff. From here, you can see the actual web page that exists for this particular department. If we're going to modify, add links, we can go in here, say for example, college information. We have more information to add to this particular area. So, to get started with this, what you can do is you go in here and press this button, like that. Once you press that button, this will fly out again. You do not need this to begin editing. What you do need now, which is available, is this edit main. If you hover your mouse over to the top edge of this, typically it will turn a darker gray. You press that, and then you'll hover down, and this particular block is the HTML block, and you can go ahead and press on that to start editing. Notice that sometimes it will not show up exactly like you like. So for example, this is how it shows up in the regular 100% view from my particular computer. If I do control negative, it will zoom out a little bit. You can hold the control key down and scroll with your mouse forward backwards. With a Mac, use the command key. Here you can see everything, so zoom in and out until you can see everything appropriately. You have your basic common editor. This takes you your HTML code where you can embed information. This is your actual size of your font. So for example, right here, if I was to highlight this, I can tell you that we can change it from a normal text to a header 1. Notice that anytime you use a header, it puts a, by default, I think 16 pixel spacer below that particular thing. So it does that as well. But you also have italicized, line through, bullets, numbers, indent, outdent, pictures, video, tables, hyperlink, left, right, center, and then a horizontal line. This page is set together pretty good, and we are trying to do a common theme across the board, and so this is what we're kind of looking at right now. So anytime you want to go ahead and edit and modify, you can go ahead and just type and work with it. One trick, if you have a large gap space between things, sometimes if you do a shift enter, it will go and take the attributes straight from that paragraph above it and not have such a big space. But so for example, in this particular case, we have a career center, which there is nothing in there yet, and it's going to need to be modified. So we can go in here and we can say room 601. And if there was a link to some documents about the Career Center, we can highlight that particular text or an image or whatever we may be putting in there. And then we can go in and pull that URL, and we could basically copy it, open this here, insert link, paste that right there, and then we can choose to open a link in a new tab. If it's a PDF document, it will not open in a new tab. By default, this platform makes that user download it. So there is no point of doing it. But if we're going to an external website, this would be great to open in a new tab. It's a good practice. One thing that helps make the pages look nicer and better is that if you can go in here and mess with the tables. So for example, we can go here and I can change things. Now, normally you can right click, but if you right click in this, this just shows you the different dialog options for that browser that you're on. So you will need to choose your particular table that you're on, press this button again, and you have your extra table options. So that's where you're going to find that information right there as well. And notice that you can always change and modify things by using the paragraph marker. So when you're done with all this, you can choose save, and it's going to go over here automatically, and that can zoom out if you want to see it in its full entirety. This is how you would do that. One trick that we can do is if I want to go to the counseling staff, for example, and I have code, this is code you can pull from a external source, we can go into this particular thing and you can do a modification as well. So you do edit main, and if we do this right here and then we hover down, edit HTML block, we can go over here and look at all the code that's going on. Do Control A, Command A, and Control C, Command C, and we can just save that. And what we can do is we can actually go in here and look at a page that is empty. So if I wanted to do best practice, I can go here to School Counselor. This particular page is empty because it's just a flyout page. But if I wanted to, I can modify by putting that same content in over here. So if I can press this out arrow, I choose Edit Main. Notice when I choose Edit Main, I have one HTML block. I can also add more information over here. You can do picture galleries and slides. These are basically blocks that go up and down the actual screen wherever you want, and you can drag them around. Typically the number one thing we're going to use is the text block right there. But we already have one existing already, so we don't need to do that. I go over here and I select that code, Control V, Command V, and I can click on that one more time to see what it's going to look like. It looks pretty good to me. And so now, no matter where these individuals go, they're going to land on the beginning default page for the counselors one way or another. And this is what it looks like now. We just built that entire page by doing the HTML code copy and paste. If you are HTML editor, if you are one of the individuals that edits the CMS, you will need to use your documents to put documents that you want people to download, such as PDFs, and that's the best practice, make everything a PDF. So what you can do is you can go into your Thrillshare, and when you go into Thrillshare, you're going to go into the documents area. The documents area for that particular school, we're in Richmond Hill High School, we'll find something that we want to use. So if we have a cell phone policy, we can click on this. Has already been uploaded as a PDF. This right here is the actual URL to that document, and this is what we need to use in our CMS. So I'm going to Control C to copy that, and to show you how that could be utilized is that if we went over here and we went to the college page, and we will just say we're going to modify this and edit HTML block. I can just say cell phone. And I would want to center that so it lines up with everything else, and then I can highlight this, and then I can also go in here and choose Insert Link, do Control V, Command V. Do not need to open a new tab because it is already going to be a PDF. It's just going to automatically download, and that would be fine right there. And then after that, you can go down and press Save. I am not going to save this. I'm going to backspace out of this, but that is how you would put an actual PDF into the document. The last thing that we're going to look at, I'm going to close out of this, is that when I'm done with this particular page, I can go ahead and close out that, and then I can just close this browser out and I'm good to go. If for some reason you need to go over here and you need to create a page, you need to make sure you correspond with your TRT, myself, so that we know what pages are being created and how you're creating them. Please pay attention to the second video in the CMS to understand more about this left navigation area.